Hi, I'm the Votogram Man, and I run Fairgo and Voters Network. There's a lot of talk in the media these days about buy now, pay later. And some people have expressed concern that a lot of users of that system might get them into higher and higher debt, which eventually they can't handle. And more recently, there's talk about others moving into what effectively is payday lending. Lending people money partway through their pay period because they can't wait for their money because of expenses. Now, it could be that these people are spending a lot of money on luxury goods or a luxury lifestyle that they really can't afford, and they would be better off saving money for a few months so that they could pay cash for what they want rather than getting into debt, because debt can be very dangerous. But it's also possible that many of the people who are using these sort of expensive finance options are being grossly underpaid for the work that they do. And we have to stop to think how the corporate pyramid works. We know what it's like. We've got a CEO up the top here, and we have a whole lot of people down the bottom, and people in the middle, managers and sub-managers. And there's a big disparity between the people who earn the most money in an organisation, a corporation, and the people who earn the least amount of money. We're on the lowest pay rate. When you think about it, the highest executive pay in Australia, I think, is one executive who earns $43 million a year. And there are a good few people who earn about $50,000 or less a year. So I wonder what you think about the difference in those pay rates. Where do the corporate profits come from? Do they come from the executive at the top, or do they come from the people at the bottom who are very often the ones who are actually relating to the customers who are paying for the services? It's an important question because it does deal with this idea of people having to borrow money partway through their pay period, if in fact that's being used for essentials like food and clothing and rent for their families. So I wonder what that $43 million is in, if we converted it to a weekly pay. Let's just have a little look. 43, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros after it. If we divide that by 52, we find that that executive is being paid $827,000 a week. So that's not real bad money, is it? That's none of us would be all that sad. If you're on $827,000 a week, you probably don't have to go anywhere near a payday lender. A person on $50,000 is earning about $1,000 a week. So that means this person, the top executive, is earning 827 times as much money as those people on 50 grand a year. If I were to look at that person's weekly pay, the executive's weekly pay, we've got that figure of 827,000. So I wonder what it is per day. If we think that he works for 6 days a week, divide by 6, yes, he's earning $137,820 per day. Let me go back and look at those figures again. 43 million a year divided by 52 weeks gives $826,923 per week. And if we divide that over 6 days, that equals $137,820 per day. Call it $138,000 a day. So that also isn't real bad pay, is it? Should we be having a look to see whether there should be a fixed gap between the highest pay rate and the lowest pay rate? And if we did, would a gap of 20 times be enough? Would it be fair to say that if the top person in the organisation is receiving one figure, the lowest pay rate should not be more than 1/20th of that? 5%, 1/20th of that. Or looking at it another way, if the lowest pay rate was $1,000 a week, the highest rate shouldn't be more than 20 times that, or $20,000. If you think there's a reason for doing that, please let us know, because then we can work on how that might be achieved. If you think the present system, where there are many CEOs in Australia earning millions of dollars a year, if you think that works well, then say so. What I'd love you to do is to go to voters.network, join up, it won't cost you anything. Join up and go to the forum and the topic Australia Today and put your views in there. Voters Network is about getting your views and getting government to do what you want. And it doesn't matter whether you're trying to get a family member in a hospital, or you want to be paid a decent pay rate for the work that you do, or you'd like the government to improve its planning actions. Whatever it is, we've learned over 35 years of running votograms that if you ask the right people in the right way at the right time, you'll mostly get what you want. And if you don't, you have elections where you can do something about it in marginal electorates. So, get onto Voters Network. We don't have any party political views or preferences. All we want is the government to do what the voters want. That's what democracy's about. I look forward to having your views and hearing what other people think about it and getting the government to do what you want. Thanks. I'll be with you again.